Yeah.
Hey.
That was a terrible introduction.
It was.
Okay,
We gotta do something cool.
Let's start with like a toast. A toast to Juneteenth.
Hey.
All right. Well, welcome to Shop Talk. This is our first episode. We have no studio audience.
I mean, there are people in the shop today.
Yes. There's Naomi's here. She made these delicious matcha beverages.
Oh, you got a matcha too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, we're feeling green.
I got a dirty matcha. It's like a matcha with a little shot of espresso.
Okay, period.
Like spring mix, iced.
Nice. I just got, hot matcha spring mix. She put a little heart in it, y'all. It's very cute.
Lovely.
Yes.
So yes, this is going to be interesting and experimental.
Bear with us.
We imagined this as being like people would pop in and out, but there's only one person.
We're here early in the morning.
Yes.
Don't sit here and sleep on the shop. I came here yesterday afternoon and it was popping.
It gets popping.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta work.
As Tamara said on, what was her name? Tamara, the sister that was on the talk show.
Oh,
Which was like, I get ghetto.
Like, I get ghetto. People don't know that. She said, I get ghetto.
Remember that?
I do remember that. There was no reason for her to say it. It was like the context wasn't even contexting, but.
So yeah, it definitely gets a pop in here. It's just an early summer morning,
It is.
So, But hey, so I'd like to start off by walking down memory lane.
Oh, take us through there.
Take us through there. So, this is Juneteenth, It's a old holiday in the Black community.
215? I was thinking that, I don't know if I made that number up, but last night I was dreaming about it and I was like, is it the 215th Juneteenth?
Is it? Hey, Siri. No, I'm joking. Siri.
I was about to say.
Anniversary.
Because what was it, 1865? Am I making up that number? So it's not 215. It's an odd number.
1865. Mm-hmm. So 2026 minus 1865. 26 minus.
It ends in a 1.
161.
Oh, wow. 161. Okay, period.
Now, Juneteenth is to celebrate the end of slavery.
Okay.
Slavery. Every time you say it, you got to say it real heavy and dark.
Oh, okay. Slavery.
It was to celebrate the end of
Slavery.
Yes. And it's actually crazy because when you think about it, 161 years ago,
Yeah.
not that long.
Not as long as you would think.
Not as long as you would think.
At least me in my head being like, it was 215.
And not even.
It's not. It wasn't even close to 200. Yeah. It's a cool generation away.
Yeah. So it's a very it's an old holiday for the Black community, but it's new to America. It just became like a federal holiday. What, like 4 or 5 years? 2021.
I thought it was 2024. I thought that was the last thing that Joe Biden did, and
now
then
you're making me go back to the AI Google.
Child, you're supposed to come prepared with the facts. Now let me say.
June 17th, 2021.
Okay. Well, you did have the facts. Okay, period.
So.
Get into it. Yeah, so Juneteenth, federal holiday, 2021.
2025. 2021, even though the coloreds here had been celebrating it much longer than that.
And y'all, I'm not from Texas, so whenever, they weren't celebrating. I think the first time I ever learned about Juneteenth, I was in high school, and I was living in California at the time, and I remember we had driven by, somebody was having a Juneteenth festival, and I asked my parents, and I was like, what is Juneteenth? And they just kind of gave me like, oh, it's like, like this holiday to celebrate like Black people. And I was like, how come we never did that? And they're just like, oh, like, it's not like that big. Like, we celebrate. My dad was like, yeah, we kind of celebrate in New York. My mom was like, yeah. Just not passing on the traditions for real.
Sad.
Yeah.
So a part of the lore, I know the young folks like to use that word these days, A part of the lore is that, well, let's say the myth, because it's a little bit of a myth involved.
Oh, okay.
But, slavery ended.
Slavery.
Slavery, yeah. And back then they didn't have, oh my God, there's a fly in your matcha.
Okay, I think I'm fine. It could have been a cheese fly. No, it wasn't a cheese fly. Anyways.
Well, okay. Well,
I don't
back
remember.
to slavery.
Yeah, the lore. The myth.
The lore, yes, the myth.
The myth.
So, there's a big war, to end slavery.
Right.
That resulted in the end of slavery. I guess
Civil
would be the better
War.
way to phrase that. The Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
which it looks like we're coming back around to.
Oh my God.
But that's a conversation for another day.
Yeah, because I need you to unpack that one. Why are we coming back around to another Civil War?
It's just the country.
Who's fighting who?
I think we're going to be fighting each other and the world. I think it's going to be a world war and a civil war at the same time. Well, we can talk about that at next shop talk.
Okay, period.
Yeah. So, slavery ends, right? And they didn't have any social media back in the day. So it wasn't like you're like tweeting or whatever.
Right.
And being like, oh my God, we're free.
They didn't have telegrams.
Did they?
I think they had to ride on horseback or something.
You're
right.
They had the Pony Express.
They did.
Yeah. I don't even know if that's accurate, but
shop talk.
they didn't have the news,
Yeah.
Maybe they had newspapers, but they didn't have CNN.
They didn't.
Or Fox News, thank God. Could you imagine Fox News back then? And
they probably had some alternatives. Everybody had like their own opinions and ideas.
Well, anyways, so the myth is that we celebrate Juneteenth because nobody told the slaves in Texas. And, they just didn't know because the news just traveled so slow. And that's why we celebrate it, because the news finally reached Texas after years and years and years.
Yeah.
But that is a myth.
It's a myth?
That's the myth.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, let's get into it.
It didn't take forever for the end of slavery news to reach Texas. They knew about it pretty quickly.
Oh.
But the slave owners were like, we ain't letting these niggas go. And so the president, Abraham Lincoln, had to send the military down to Texas to be like, let these colored people go. Except he didn't say colored people.
I was about to say,
they
not
used
just
different language back then. He said, let these Negroes go.
Why are you portraying him like Moses?
Well, that's how the white people portray him.
Okay,
That's how they portray him.
And Martin Luther King Jr. was Jesus.
Yes, he was the Black Jesus.
Okay, he was the Black Jesus. Jesus was black.
Well,
maybe Palestinian, maybe a little brown.
Depends on who you ask. But anyways, so the important thing is that slavery was very heavy. It was very heavy and deep and big. And I know people don't like to hear me say this, but we're still living in its shadow even to this very day.
Yeah.
So
I think it's worth acknowledging, though. I think that's what people fail to understand. Just because we're acknowledging it doesn't mean that it's like we're reinforcing slavery in its depth.
Right.
I feel like it should be okay to acknowledge something.
Yeah. Hi.
Hey.
No, come right on in. Yeah.
The shop is open.
So, last year, in accordance with the tradition of Juneteenth, Tiara and I wanted to have a lovely celebration. We wanted to get all the colored folk together and have a little bit of a jubilee, for Juneteenth.
Yeah, I was hosting it wasn't monthly yet, and now it is monthly, but I was hosting my wine and wine nights at my favorite wine bar. And, I was like, every time that I would host it, I would try to bring in like special vendors and just something to make it unique. So I'd have Strawberry Chick. Shout out to my girl Strawberry Chick.
Shout out to her.
She'd bring some food. Had True Jamaica come through and bring some food.
Shout out to True Jamaica.
And then one time I was like, it's Juneteenth. I feel like it has to be something even more special. So I was like, Tristan, come on through. Give me a little storytelling vibe. You got real excited.
I did. I planned a whole show.
Whole show. He was playing the piano and everything, y'all.
Yeah.
It was, I wouldn't say it was a piano.
I had never even played the keyboard live, so I was really trying to show out for the AA community.
It was cute. You know, it was very cute. But the thing about this wine bar is it's a new wine bar. You know,
it's not that damn new.
It is new. It's changed ownership over like 2-3 times. So it was new. Not too much. It was new.
When she says changed ownership, she means first the Father owned it, then the Son.
No.
And then the Holy Ghost.
No. You don't know the lore?
I don't know the lore.
And not you sitting here trying to speak down on them. They literally have changed ownership 3 times. It once was called I don't know who those owners were. Then it changed.
How long had it been that when we were there?
It had to have been maybe a year.
That's
because
enough.
They just had their 2-year anniversary, y'all. Just had their 2 years. So at this point, it definitely was a year because that was last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So 1 year.
Was it?
Was it 2 years ago? It couldn't have been 2 years ago.
Maybe it was last year.
It had to have been last year, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Because I'm like, what else were we doing on Juneteenth last year?
Yeah, that was last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we had this whole thing. We also had a whole marketing. Like, that was my favorite part of it. We had a whole marketing promo.
It was so good.
Do you know you are free? Mm-hmm. That was the thing. Posting it everywhere. So it's like the vibe is definitely showing what to expect from it. Mm-hmm. I think we said it was going to be some storytelling.
Yes.
And so it was just this whole thing of trying to... And okay, now, explain the idea of do you know you're free?
So basically, we were trying to get people to, like, wake up to the fact that, oh my God, do you motherfuckers remember slavery is over? Like, and part of it was because, like, we were just tired of, like, the consumerism and the materialism. Yeah. And so we were trying to make comments about that.
True.
And, like, also just trying to shed light on, like, there has just been so much work that has been done by our ancestors, by, you know, the generations before us to, like, afford the freedoms that we have today. And it was just like, do you know, like, how much work has been put into your freedom? And, like, do you know that you are free?
Okay.
You do not have to shop at these companies that are constantly disrespecting you. You do not have to uplift these brands that don't want you to be a part of their
And we're going to have
aesthetic.
to circle back to that.
You do not have to keep...
You don't have to keep putting your dollar into something that's not investing back into your community.
You do not have to keep supporting these celebrities that will turn around and then send the money that you gave them to these Republicans and show up at these Republican events and laugh in your face. We just wanted to, like, slap people in the face with love and be like, hey, tap them on the shoulder. Hey, slavery's over.
But do you know that you're free?
Did you know? You're free. And it also harkened back to the original Juneteenth, where it's like, everybody needs to know. Like, Massa is trying to keep us locked down, but we are free, and I need you to know.
Okay. That's valid.
So that was the whole idea and, like, the energy behind do you know you're free? And another crazy thing about this was, this is, even though this bar had been opened a year, it was a Black-owned wine bar. And not only was it a Black-owned wine bar, the owner said that he specifically wanted something for Juneteenth.
We're going to get into it, y'all, because I know what y'all are thinking already. Like, dang, this is already getting kind of crazy. What are you about to say? And I am so unfortunately gonna play devil's advocate today.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Because I can see both sides. I really saw both sides, but I need you to speak your piece about it because I know it's important.
Yes. So we had a whole program planned out. I was gonna open up with a poem by Ras Baraka, who was a former mayor of New Jersey. He wrote a very beautiful poem called An American Poem.
Okay, and can we settle this? Because this is the main thing that had me. Was this poem performed in Beyonce's Cowboy Carter Renaissance?
This poem was a part of one of the interludes in the Cowboy Carter tour.
Okay.
So it's a very beautiful poem. It's like one of those poems that's more of like a spoken word. You know, it's perfect for like live events and things like that.
For sure.
And so I did my own rendition of the poem to go along with the keyboard, right?
He was playing them keys.
Playing
Very dramatic.
keyboard.
I'm gonna be so for real.
The poem, and then after that, we were gonna open the show, and we were getting into it was gonna be storytelling, then some music, then storytelling. We were sandwiching the storytelling and music.
And by the music, you know, I'm DJing, so
Right,
that's like
yes.
what we mean.
We didn't even get to the first layer of the sandwich.
We
of the
got
show.
into the first poem.
That was literally
an
the
American
opening.
poem. Yeah.
We got into the opening.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's 7:46 p.m. Central Time. And I just have a little question for you. I have a couple questions for you tonight. The first of which being, of course, do you know that you are free? What is Juneteenth for anyways? Is it just another holiday for black people?
Jefferson, right?
Hopefully not Thomas Jefferson.
I read the poem with the music.
Mind you, I'm sitting there eating my chicken.
And I'm looking out into the crowd, and people are like nodding along and snapping,
They
and
were.
you know they're and doing all of that.
They were. It was
Like,
like
it felt
people were
they
very
into it.
engaged.
Now I will say it took me some time to get into the poem, but that was because I was trying to. There was a lot going on. Again, this is.
Were you
I
trying to
can't
read
give
the
you setup of
vibes?
the bar. There was right when I started the poem. A couple came into the bar, and at this bar, when you come in, they give you a tour. Like it's a whole tour thing. And mind you, the tour starts right at the stage
so I
where
didn't
I was doing
keep
the
that.
poem. So when I started reading the poem, like they were there, and like the lady was talking to them, and I was like I literally had started reading because the poem starts off by asking,
Are there any American poets in here? I want to hear an American poem. Something American, you know.
or the poem starts off by saying, I want to hear an American poem.
Yeah.
So I had started reading the poem, and then that's when she started giving the tour to the white couple that came in. And I had like kind of paused a little bit, and it was funny because people started raising their hands like, yeah, I want to hear an American poem.
They were really
Yes.
engaged. A lot
And
of
I was
people
like,
were.
oh God, I was like, this is such awkward timing. So like I was trying to space it out. But anyways, so eventually I did get to the poem, read the poem. After I read that poem, Tierra beelined to the stage. When I tell you, she raced up to that stage with a swiftness.
Well, okay. And then can I tell you the backstory? Because while I'm sitting there, mind you, my friend, shout out to my friend, Sim, she cooked an amazing meal for the entire thing. She catered the
Yes.
event. So I'm sitting there, I'm enjoying the food. This is the best food I feel like I had ever catered there in the first place. So I'm sitting there chowing down. And the owner comes up to me, he's like, you need to cut this. Mid-poem. Just
Mid-poem.
cut it. And I was like, eating, and I was like, yeah. I'm sitting there trying to finish my food because I was like, you want me to get back up there and start DJing? And
Yeah.
I'm really trying to take a little food break.
Oh my God.
I'm trying to enjoy the fruits of my labor at this point too. And I was like, I want to hear
Yeah.
out the poem. People were interjecting, they were engaging. So I was like, I don't really know where this is coming from. But he's like, nah, we got to cut it. We got to cut it immediately. Like he's doing too much. And I personally, I thought the poem was good. I didn't hear all the things that he was claiming he heard. So I was just like, okay, like after it finishes, you know, I'll let you finish first before I go in.
Yes.
So then I did. I beelined up to you.
Beelined up, and she was like, hey, yeah, you come on. She was like, hey, yeah, the owner said that he didn't like that. And I was like, what? I was like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, he said that you're scaring the white people. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
He said because, you know, the N-word was said a little too freely, and he didn't like that in the space.
Yes, now I will say the poem does feature the N-word a couple of times, but it's not like hard E, hard R, hard N. It's more of like your fraternal using of the word, and it was only a couple times.
And it really skirted over my head because I didn't even hear it.
Like most people didn't even hear it.
I really didn't, because I was like, what are you talking about for real? And I was just like, he just kept saying, because all I remember hearing is, I want to hear an American poem. And like, there were some parts of it that had like things about American culture that is problematic. But I was like, I mean, not anybody is upset. Like, nobody left while the poem was happening.
Right, exactly.
And there's been times that I was DJing up there and I could literally see somebody, like, I'd spin a song or something and it might be a little, you know, too deep in the culture. And I'd see them get a little uncomfortable and want to leave. But, you know, that never seemed to be a problem. So that's why I was very confused, because I was like, you know, is poetry something different? But not everybody understands poetry.
Tiara was like, do you have any other material? It's like, what do you mean? Because mind you, not that the stories were like traumatic that we were going to tell. Like they did involve some deep subjects.
There were some deep subjects.
In an effort to like turn it around and show how we've overcome. And she was like, well, do you have like any other stories that you could tell? And I was like, I didn't prepare anything else for this show.
Yeah.
And so, long story short, just to cut it out, I mean, just to wrap things up, I just decided to leave. Like, you know, I didn't, the rest of the night, it was just going to be me telling stories about our people, you know, the things that we've gone through to be able to get our freedom and to get our right to vote. So I just
very
left,
educational,
you know?
yeah.
I was like, you know what? He doesn't want me here. I'm scaring the white people. Let me just pack it up and go, you know. I also don't like to be, you know, we can talk about that later. Let's not talk about me.
What do you don't like to be in spaces where you don't feel welcome?
Yes.
Yeah, that's valid.
It's also like, yes, long story short, yes.
Because I mean, that's like a common thing that people say, like, stop being in spaces where you're literally not welcome. Like,
I'm not one of those people that's gonna be like, I'm finna fight my way to be in here and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I'm just gonna go.
And see, is that what our ancestors would want, Melody? They was doing sit-ins. I think you should have sat in there and like forced him to see you the entire time.
Because they were fighting against segregation.
And low-key, he was trying to uphold segregation in that.
Well, let's talk about it. Because I packed up my things. Now, before I left, because I had manners, I went over to the owner and I said, thank you so much for, having me out. So it was like, I didn't really mean to offend any of your customers or anything.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Yes. And I shook his hand and he looked at me in my eyes and he said, yeah, because I got white folks. Hi.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I looked at him and I just said, you know what? I understand. And I left and I have never been back.
Never been back.
Never been back.
It still kind of breaks my heart a little bit. And it's so funny because I think at some point he does kind of want you back, which is the gag.
I'm sorry, no.
I think it was like, they haven't been in business for a long time, and in the space, thinking about the history of Waco, let's get into it if we're really going to get into it. What I always hear people say, because again, y'all, I'm not really from here, but like whenever I used to tell people like, hey, like, I'm going to be like downtown DJing and working at the radio station, you get the people who are really from here who tell me the stories, and they'll like be like, oh, like, well, I don't go downtown. And I'll be like, why are we not going downtown? They're like, oh, like, we weren't allowed downtown for a long time.
It was whites only.
Yeah, and so it's like, I never understood that. And I don't even think he's from Waco either, but it's like he's almost like upholding that standard to kind of keep it in this place where we're accommodating to people instead of making it for us, at the same time. And I think that's the part that's a little sad.
It's so funny, it's shop talk, the shop's open. And
it was a little baby that walked
out.
in, y'all.
So, yeah.
So cute.
But yeah, so I mean, it's sad.
It is sad. Because I think and then at the end of the day, every time now that I'm there all the time, I know a lot of people are always kind of like, can we like cater to us. Like now everybody wants to be on that vibe where we're trying to specifically curate events that are for
Can
us
we
by
pause?
us.
Because I have to add some more context, right?
Oh,
So we don't went. Look, I have all these cards, and we have just
Shop
we are
talk.
all over the place. But that's fine. I mean, we're not all over the place.
I was going to say, this is all irrelevant.
Yes, this story just extended in a way that I wasn't expecting it to.
Oh.
But so here's the thing. So I love that Tiara brings up the history of Waco and like him trying to cater to a particular audience.
He said they were from Wisconsin. I definitely remember him saying that. He was like, I got people in here from Wisconsin. I don't know what that was supposed to mean for real.
So here's the thing. When we did that Juneteenth event, that was only my second time at that location.
Oh.
Right?
Okay.
Now, when Tiara had pitched the idea to me to do storytelling there, sorry, yo, I was like, okay, I was like, I've never been here before. I was like, definitely sounds like a cool idea. I saw pictures of the place. I was like, I love that it has a stage. So like, I was super excited.
It's very beautiful.
But me and you went and visited a couple of weeks before the event so that I could, get
grounded
for the
in the
place.
space.
Yes.
Yeah.
So when me and Tiara went to go visit at the location, I fell in love with the space because it was full of older Black men. And
It was that night.
Some people know this about me, but I love old Black men.
I didn't know that.
I just love old Black men. They're funny. They're hilarious. It's a whole thing. I could do a whole episode on older Black men, but there were a lot of older Black men in the space. They were very country. They were very unapologetically Black.
For sure.
So I felt comfortable in that space as a Black person.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the conversation that they were having verbatim, because that weekend or the weekend after we were there, Lil Boosie, who we should really just, again, someone else that we should just not be supporting as a community, but whatever.
Child, he was just out here basically.
Again?
No, not in Waco, but he was like damn near. He was in Killeen. He hosted this whole Fat Gator weekend.
Okay. Well, so Lil Boosie was coming to Waco, and the men they were all sitting at the bar. Mind you, the owner is sitting with them, sitting there drinking wine. They all sounded like they were either tipsy or toasted, somewhere in between. But anyways,
just having a little chit chat.
Having a chit chat, gossiping. And they were
as Black men do. Now let me stop.
Yes, they be gossiping.
I know y'all be trying to sit here and play like y'all don't be gossiping.
Yes.
I see y'all.
Yeah, they be gossiping. So the men were complaining because they thought that the Lil Boosie tickets were too expensive, right?
Oh.
And they kept saying, and the funny thing was, they were saying that the only reason that people in Waco were buying the tickets is because nobody ever comes to Waco. So that's why they were paying those high prices.
Oof.
And he specifically said, because these niggas down here, you throw them a bone and they'll take it. It don't have to have nothing but the gristle on it, and they'll still take it. I'm talking about the gristle. And I remember I was like, this is a country ass nigga, because only country ass niggas talk about gristle off the bone. So like, me and Tiara are sitting there, we're sipping our wine, we're enjoying this conversation. And I heard the N-word several times that night, along with many other words. So I was like, okay, this is a classy place, but it's still got that colored flavor, that colored feel. So I was like, we are going to have a good time.
You're going to get me canceled, y'all.
Fast forward to 2 weeks later, when they are telling me I need to wrap it up because I am scaring the white people.
And I wonder if it's like, how they talk about like when you see a mirror of yourself and it forces you to think about who you are and who you've become or something like that. I wonder if he saw a young version of himself in you, because then he started blaming poetry, and I was like, hold on, I love poetry. Let's not say we don't like poetry in the spot, because like I think it's a beautiful form of art, and like that's almost like the essence of who I am and how I I DJ, how I present myself to the world in a way. So I was like, I don't know, like I wouldn't go so far and to say it was, because he was really saying that it was like the way that you presented it. Like it's one thing if you put it in a song or something, but like because it was spoken word, it hit a lot different. But I think that's personally why I think poetry and spoken word is so powerful and impactful.
Right, exactly. And it's like, were you even listening to the poem?
It was
Did
giving.
you just hear, you heard nigga and you were like, oh.
I think it was because we were reinforcing.
It's like the old white lady.
Ooh.
And it's like that music is like, dun, 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 dun. Never mind.
No.
Whatever. Okay.
Y'all, I don't know a lot of memes. That's one thing about me. I'm not there. But I feel like that's the thing. Like, what I kept hearing was the American poem. And so it was almost like we're, like, really, the poem was calling out the messed up stuff that happens in America, but then offsetting it with some beautiful things that happen in America too, in terms of Black culture. And I feel like once you only maybe listen to the parts that are like critiquing American culture, I think that made him uncomfortable. I don't really think it was like the N-word per se.
And that's why I'm like, I have a hard time going back, because it's like, you have a problem with critiquing American culture, but not the little bootsy prices.
I mean, if you think about it, that's kind of like where we are in society. Like, it's kind of, it's hard. It's really hard out here because it's the same thing with like protesting and things like that. Like, people are really like, they're trying to make it a crime almost for us to even speak about it, which is really fascist. And obviously that's why they're getting all those attacks talking about Antifa this, Antifa that. And it's like, okay, so you're trying to scare people away from wanting freedom, a democracy? Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. Like, you're literally trying to stop people from exercising their rights. And so, I don't know, it's a dangerous time we live in, but because of that, especially older generations, I think they're in a way, which is not a call, because I've met a lot of people that are like this, that literally, because I like to protest. I would be out there fighting for my rights, and people would be like, I just don't understand why you do it. What do you, girl, my grandma's from Alabama. Like, she was out there in Selma, Alabama, protesting with the people, doing all the walks and things like that. So it's just like, I wouldn't want to let her down either at that same point. Like, we should keep fighting for more. Like, if what we want, if you and yourself are talking about how you want to achieve more in your life, wouldn't that also mean something for the collective to achieve more? Like, we shouldn't just be fighting for individual, like, rights of, like, getting mass amounts of money and becoming these millionaires and billionaires, but then what happens to the people who literally don't have access to those things and those connections that you do? There's a lot of factors that like put people behind that aren't able to get that. And so I feel like that's, and I bring that all back to say that it has now become a crime to like sit here and want more for our people in our society.
Well, with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. And we'll be right back after these messages.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it's 10:52 and I do have to leave. We're gonna have to conclude the episode.
Well, you know, this
so
has
sorry.
been the first episode of Shop Talk.
It has.
It was very interesting.
Child, we got heated in the moment. The camera overheated.
The camera did overheat, so that's what happens sometimes, you know.
When you get into the heated topics.
When you get into a heated topic.
The energy is felt.
Yeah.
Through the screen.
Well, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this cup of joe.
Or your matcha tea.
Or your matcha. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, topics of discussion,
yes,
feel free to DM us. You can DM at 77MMPro on Instagram or at Give You Blues.
Just the letter U.
With just a U, not Y-O-U.
Yes.
And with that being said, we thank you for tuning in to Shop Talk.
At Thrst Coffee Shop.
Happy Juneteenth.
It's really just one of them weeks for real. Oh my God.
Well, you know what? Hey,
to be mic'd up.
Yes.